Hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about the flat backside. I'm Glenda with SureFit Designs, and I know some of you know me as Glenda the Good Stitch. Do you have a flat backside? And if you do, maybe you have baggy fabric at the back of your butt. And with all traditional commercial patterns, maybe you've had to do a lot of refinement to get that fabric to fit you a little bit better. Well, with SureFit Designs, you may or may not need to do what I call a refinement or minor tune-up. One of the things that happens with SureFit Designs is that as you're drawing off your body blueprint, you do a lot of refinements for your unique body shape right in the drawing process. So I am going to encourage you to sew it up the first time without any major changes and just see if it fits you. You never know. This crotch curve might be just absolutely perfect for you. But if when you get your test pants on and you still have a little bit of bagging at the back underneath your flat backside, then there's a couple of different things you can do. And I'm going to show you the options here. On the pant back, what you can do is scoop out some of the fabric at your crotch curvature. And so it would basically look like this. You're going to start just above crotch point number 1, and you're going to scoop the curvature to make it a little bit deeper, thereby taking out some of that fabric that is bagging underneath your backside. And you're going to come to your original back crotch point number 2. In addition to that, you would likely want to flatten this side seam just a little bit. Now, this is going to help. Yes, it will help, but it's not the ideal solution for a flat backside, because what this is doing is it's taking fabric out of the crotch curve and off of the side seam. And where you really have the situation occurring is right underneath your buttocks, not at the crotch curve or the side seam. As I say, this refinement can help, but it may not be the total solution for you. And so if you are very flat in the backside, I am going to recommend that you put a seam down the back of your pants. Now, I do know a lot of you are going to groan when you hear that because you don't want to put a seam down the back. But I can assure you that in doing so, you're going to end up with a seam that you can do shaping on, and your pants will fit you so well that nobody will ever notice that you have a seam going up the back of your leg. And I know that from experience. The ladies who come to my Fit and Sew retreats here in Oregon, I don't encourage all of them to try it, but I can see when I look at their bodies that some ladies are going to be better with that seam. And if I can get them over the hurdle of just giving it a try and they go, oh my gosh, that looks beautiful. And so let me show you what to do. And I'm going to show you this very briefly because there is another video that takes you in depth in the exact process of adding a seam up the back. But basically what you will do is incorporate a double-ended dart, which will look basically like this, and it's going to get incorporated into a seam line. And so if you incorporate this in a decorative seam line, perhaps it's a line that's going to go off into the center back like this. Then as you're stitching, you stitch along, you're joining these two pieces together, you stitch along, and then you come down like this, and you remove this excess width that you really don't need under your backside. So it would come along in that fashion. And you can see what that's doing is pulling out that excess fabric that you don't need underneath your buttocks. And as I said, once this seam is conformed to your figure shape, your pants really will look so good that nobody is ever going to know that you've got a seam up the back. Now, the one thing that I do want to make sure that you understand is whenever you cut your pattern open and spread it apart, now you've got two cut edges. Now you must add 5/8 of an inch to both edge so that when you sew it together, you don't lose any of the fabric width or the pattern width. All this is doing is taking out the excess fabric underneath your buttocks where you don't need it to be. Now, where you're going to find the information for actually doing this refinement or minor tune-up is on page 15 of your Pants Kit instruction book, and it's number 11A, which is the first one that I showed you, and number 11B. So with that, I hope that you've enjoyed this short little video, and I do encourage you to join the SureFit Designs community if you haven't already, and that's done in 3 easy steps. Make sure you sign up for our newsletter, and when you do, there are free gifts to get you started. And number 2, make sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And number 3, we have an international community in Facebook. It's just facebook.com/groups/SureFit Designs. Request to join, and then start participating with all the wonderful ladies around the world who are having so much fun with SureFit Designs.